Hello everyone, I'm Brawl Mithra. It's Dark Herald time. The best time to be a Kingdom Death Kickstarter update, the thing we look forward to all month when a sale. But this time I'm going to do a little bit different. As you can see here on the thing, I'm going to go through all of the knowledge that we have on Black Knight. I've always mentioned things in other Dark Herald updates where it's like, oh, a lot of this information we knew before, a lot of this stuff we knew before, blah, 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 blah. I've known this for a long time. This is not new. And then it comes off as like being negative, right? So I'm going to go through all the update, all the big information that we've had over Black Knight for the whole time. I'm not going to show the Gen Con fights, but we've already seen the Gen Con fights, right? People have played Gen Con demo. There's YouTube videos of Gen Con demo, so you can see how the fight plays out. The Black Knight, we know a lot of information already, and it's good for two reasons. It looks like, for one, the old pitches are kind of the same. It looks like a lot of this dev time has been used to clean things up. And the Black Knight is a good example of this, right? I really want to go through all this stuff because it shows that even though when this stuff was pitched, a lot of it was done and a lot of it was already there, they've stayed true to the pitch, and it looks like they've cleaned stuff up to make it better. And that's a good thing. It shows good use of the time that they've been putting in on this. Because there's been a lot of time on this Kickstarter. A lot of time has been spent on all this stuff. And Wave 4 and these things are still nowhere near being done. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm not going to talk about any of the Kickstarter stuff. We've learned a lot of information about Kickstarter stuff and Gambler's Chest and all that stuff. And there's been a lot of comments on the Kickstarter that Poots has been doing that tie back to other things he said and things. Now, I'm very active on Lantern's Reign Discord, and sometimes I can see things that were originally talked about, and then as it's talked about now, and I'll say, oh, it looks like he's cleaning up something, and then people are always like, stop reading between the lines, you're so stupid and negative and all this stuff. Again, so we're going to talk about all of it, and it's a good thing, right? It's good that these things, these cleaning up and polishing of old mechanics from old Kickstarters that I've noticed, old Kickstarter updates, like really old, like this we're going to start here. It's good that the time is being spent on polishing, right? I'm not being negative when I'm saying that, right? Or pointing out similarities of how things were pitched and how it's now different. It's not negative. So, let's quickly go over all this stuff. So this is the original pitch for Black Knight. We're going to go through all, and I'm going to get to the Dark Herald. So, as you can see here, this is the brand new expansion. This is the artwork. The artwork has not changed for Black Knight. You can see his dog feet and everything. Again, here's the original resins. These have since gotten bigger, but this has all been originally disclosed. All these images here, you're going to re-see them in the Dark Herald. This is like update 27. This is during the Kickstarter itself. They say if you take a lantern that never lit down the trail of corpses and past the whispering stars, you'll find an ancient figure atop a crest of determined faces. Treasured by a hidden cult of loyal squires, the figure will awaken only for the most honorable of challengers, right? So this is hinting towards it's defending something, right? For generations, the Black Knight has unknowingly defended a settlement of people hidden in the ruins of its home. Right? So when it's done fighting, it must go back to sleep or something, and then the squires come out. They become self-appointed, loyal squires, creating a position of honor that wears the heraldry of the night and secretly toils in its service, right? So this is talking about all the people. There's a settlement below him, or maybe not, maybe just some weird settlement of just 4 or 5 survivors or whatever, but they come out and they repair his armor and everything. When invaders appear, the squires watch from the shadows so they may treasure the lessons of their masters, right? They're from their master. They're learning from it, like you would learn, like this thing has stuff to teach stuff like that, so they can learn fighting styles, stuff like that when fighting it. And then that is how this pitch goes. That's what they're talking about here with the Squires. This stuff has all been known. When their guardian falls unconscious from exhaustion, the Squires emerge from their hidden dwelling to maintain the knight's time-worn equipment. See, it's very old. Who knows how long the Black Knight's been there. They work methodically, timing their most noisy parts of their activity to the sleeping predator's snores and dreams. All right, elastomer statues. This is still early in development, but I was too excited to keep quiet. The Showdown with the Black Knight might feature a series of preserved statues dating far back in the Black Knight civilization. Right, these are the statues that appear to be people of stars and stuff that hunt dragon kings. That's why it says, they say, if you take down the lantern and never lit a trail of corpses and past the whispering stars, could be hinting towards Percival's settlement being maybe perhaps hunting dragon kings and stuff like that. That's why it says past the whispering stars and trails of corpses, because again, Percival's going to be dead and all that stuff. There's a battle there that took place. So this sure, that seems like no big deal, however. The Squires have been rebuilding and preserving the sculptures with rubbery saliva forged from the griffin nests, right? That's how they get their elastomer, the elasticity, right, that you bounce off of. The mildly elastic statues have triangular plinths. When hurled with the immense strength of the Black Knight, survivors may find their ragdoll bodies flying off in an unexpected direction after impact with the statues. This was shown in the Gen Con thing. He's going to slam you into a statue, you're going to fly and get knocked back and all that stuff. This has all been shown. So the pitch was still current with the Gen Con stuff. Currently, it is just the longest side of the structure that will cause this to happen, and it is leading to some very interesting fights as positioning gains another layer of strength. Maybe the Squires will rotate or move the statues during battle. Making them some great survivor corpse ricochet chains. All right, so here's what you get. All this stuff, Black Knight, 4 Squires, 3 Black Knight armor. So you still get 3 Black Knight narratives. So there's only going to be 3 of the Black Knight things, and we'll see them in the actual Dark Herald. You get 4 Squires to play the 5-year campaign, and you get the Black Knight itself to fight. 5 fighting arts, secret fighting arts, disorders. So, fine. Normal stuff. So this is a custom campaign node 3, which was originally as it was pitched. So the Black Knight expansion, as currently pitched, sort of breaks the outline of our node system and why we need time to fully development. While the Knight's power level is around node 3, which would be Phoenix and stuff like that, Dung Beetle Knight, the battle with it is more akin to the Flower Knight, and until the survivors meet a certain condition, it will escape before it's actually killed. All right, well, that's typical big bad evil guy DM making his monster unkillable and escaping at the last second before he kills it. But that's fine because there's a lot of lore. Of course, becoming much harder the next time they challenge it. Again, that's fine. This means it's possible to be prepared and beat it fully on the first encounter, so it's extremely likely to pull it off. Right, so this was pitching sort of like a Flower Knight weird node, because Flower Knight's not necessarily a Screaming Antelope, but not node 3. It's like a 2.5. Flower Knight also needs to be cleaned up, right? So this pitch was a node 3 being Lantern Year 8, 9, 10 in that area, not being a nemesis, but having limited fights, so being still like a quarry, right? So when it was pitched originally during the Kickstarter, it wasn't very clean. 5-year campaign. The expansion includes a short format campaign, playing as the Squires that service the Black Knight. So, limited quarry. Since there is only 1 Black Knight, finally defeating it has a slightly different impact on your campaign. There's only enough material / inspiration to create 1 or 2 of the 3 different armor sets the expansion provides. It will be up to the players, their current materials, needs, and the course of the individual campaign to make those choices. So this was the Baron. So this is the original pitch for the Baron. This is the Heir original concept art, and the Herald concept art. Here's the Hunter. So it shows 4 different things here, but it's going to come down to 3. We'll see what they exactly are in the Herald itself. Warrior. So again, these pitches, I'll scroll up and leave these as where they are. Then we'll compare these concept arts to what we got with the actual Herald. So let me go now to the next update. This one here, which was the update like 65. So this was much later. This was like 2019. So originally the Kickstarter was 2016 going into 2017, and this was like a 2019. So it was like 2 years later, just like a mini update right before Gen Con 2019. This is, again, Black Knight. The Black Knight Showdown is another battle where the location really transforms the fight. The battle takes place high on the side of the inverted mountain in a crumbling sanctuary. The squires that noiselessly skulk under the Black Knight's lonely home have slowly been restoring the cloister's grandeur with a locally sourced rubbery elastomer, which is the griffin. It comes from the griffin. Their lovingly cobbled together statues in the sanctuary take on an elastic aspect, a feature the Black Knight uses to great effect, ricocheting survivors through the sanctum and through the open air, right? This was all shown in the actual fight at the Gen Con. This is how it will work. The 5-year Squire campaign also has taken an interesting developmental turn, focusing on 4 particular squires and how their individual secrets shaped their relationship with the Black Knight. So this is now since the original pitch that we saw on Kickstarter to the Gen Con 2019 update number 65, it made it revolve around 4 specific survivors. This is where it was said that it was becoming more like a vignette. You're always going to get those 4. So the 5 years was never going to be like a settlement. It was always going to be just those 4 squires. This cleared that up. This also made it more like... Well, we'll see. I'll show you. So here's the artwork. As you can see, here are the plinths or the elastomer statues, where it's weird. It's got these like 4 king-like things underneath it. But as you can see, so these are like the knights themselves. But there's a Dragon King skull. There's like another like a fox demon or like a dog thing being hunted. Maybe those were like some kind of weird dog pull adaptations or something. Frog dogs they were fighting or something, but you can see right there is a Dragon King skull that this statue, literally they were fighting Dragon Kings. So Percival's people were fighting Dragon Kings. You can see here, these are all the maybe that's like a male frog dog or something, who knows what this all is, but again, all this artwork you'll see it's going to be reused in the Dark Herald update. The Dark Herald recycles a lot of stuff. And I know I've said that before. This is why I wanted to go back this time and actually do that in this video. Because I always say that and it says, well, you're negative or something. But it is. It's true. A lot of these Dark Heralds sometimes recycle information. So we created a really cool demo board for Gen Con. Oh, it was 2018. Oh, no, this was 2019. Now they're talking about 2018. Rubber tiles were magnetized to make easy for removal as the Black Knight blasted through them. The Black Knight expansion will not come with a modular version of its tiles. I don't know. I think that's still true. I think it is coming with modular dungeon tiles. Instead, there will be artwork on token board, but we're thinking about including elastomer statues and upgrade for flat token. So I think that's now changed. We'll see in the Herald, but here you can see where they're breaking through. This artwork again going to be reused. Artwork again reused. And you're going to see this in the Herald. So these are the dungeon tiles, right? There's the demo board for Gen Con 2018. So this was 2018, my bad. I keep saying 19, but it's 2018. You're not going to get this, but this was really cool looking. There it is. It actually, all 3D printed, really cool looking. And then Black Knight Showdown. So this is, again, Black Knight, Black Knight, Black Knight. Again, this was all from there. Squires, here they are. The models, all painted up. They're actually the full-fledged models there. There's a piece of artwork zoomed in. This is the zoomed-in piece of artwork you're seeing right here, where they're kissing and hugging the squire. And now let's go to the actual Herald itself. So here it is, Dark Herald 7, Black Knight, Gambler's Chest expansion progress report. I'm not going to talk about this. Gambler's Chest is not done. He says he's still finishing it. I don't care what he says. That's it. He's going to finish it. It's not a scam. I just don't care what he has to say anymore. So a screaming intermission. They're replacing Griffin with Screaming God. Surprise to no one, because we know nothing about Griffin. This is not, I'm not being negative. This is a good thing. So originally Black Knight was supposed to happen with the Red Witches and stuff, but then it got moved. And Screaming God and Black Knight, right? Those two. We know that Screaming God and Black Knight were the most far along Wave 4 things, besides for Frog Dog. I am fine with them shifting it around. It shows that they're working on Gambler's Chest full force and focusing really hard on that. I don't mind or care that so this month and next month, if they're really finalizing Gambler's Chest, great for them to move Black Knight and Screaming God to these two Dark Heralds, where they don't want to spend much time. These two Dark Heralds, as I'll now show, because I just read the last two updates that we know about Dark Herald, you could have written this in 20 minutes, right? Because you're just copying, pasting, or refurbishing, rewording some stuff, and then showing us new content. They do show us new content, but a lot of the lore is all reworded stuff. So I'm fine with Screaming God. I'll do the same exact way I just did with this video. I'll talk about Screaming God. I'm sure it's all going to be reused stuff with some new stuff sprinkled in. So, here we go. Dark Herald 7. Salutation Mountaineers. With the passing of each month, we have striven to achieve greater and greater heights in our quest to conquer the mountain. When we started this ascent, did you ever wonder what we would find in the darkness above? No, not really. You've already outlined our Inverted Mountain campaign, so we already know what's in it. Except for Griffin. I would love to hear about Griffin. We have seen some of the dangers that climb has to offer, the deadly fruit that is the Nightmare Ram, Lair of the Malevolent Pariah. Today, we will see a different side of the mountain. Today, we will glimpse into a portion of the mountain's quote-unquote history. So, this is Dark Knight, or Black Knight, I mean. We've already seen this thing. We've already seen these hard plastic, resin, and everything. We know it got bigger. These are literally reused photos. I don't know. They might be taken again, but we've already seen all this. I don't know where that was shown, but it wasn't shown here. But scale creep, we already know that that's happening. We hadn't seen the sprues yet, but there's a sprues. Doesn't look very complicated. That's good. The Black Knight is a Node 3 nemesis. So, it was always Node 3. We knew that from the pitch. But they've polished it. It now works better with the node system. It's not in that 3.5, 2.5 weirdness that the Flower Knight is. This is great that they've polished it up. It's now a direct hand replacement. That's great. Weird thing about being a hand replacement is you only fight hand once during your campaign. So this is actually adding another nemesis. Hopefully it's not a special showdown or whatever. Hopefully it actually replaces years. I'm not a huge fan of special showdowns. I'd rather just be an actual, year-to-year progression, not an intertwined settlement and all that stuff. But it's fine, even if it is a special showdown. Either way, adding this might take away 1 or 2 hunts, but it's fine because the gear you get from the nemesis. So that's fine. Looks neat. I'm glad it fits better in the node system. Great choice to actually remake it in the node system, fit, and work all together without having a weird Flower Knight situation. So, the Black Knight is a Node 3 nemesis found within the ruins of the ancient civilization. We knew that. We've already talked about it. It is a being left behind by time, keeping vigil in its bygone home for someone who will never return. That's talking about Percival. She's dead. It is also the unknowing steward of a new society that is present and protect the present. This is talking about the Squires. We already knew about this. When the Black Knight fends off its intruders in its domain, these self-appointed Squires watch their lord. Again, where they learn. We were talking about this in the first thing. They watch and they learn from it. From hidden underneath, from hidden niches. That's fine. And when it sleeps, we talked about this. The Squires emerge from the cover to ensure that the Guardians is well maintained. So there you can see that's just artwork that we already had seen, but now it's zoomed out. So there it is. There's the artwork. We had already seen this. That's just zoomed in. So we'd already known about this. Still very neat. And we have now battle against the Black Knight occurs within its Cliffside Sanctuary. We already knew this. We saw the Gen Con demo. Crumbling structure surrounded on all sides by sheer cliffs. We knew this. First glance, the Black Knight's techniques may seem more primitive and feral in comparison to the intricate swordsmanship of other knights that survivors may be familiar with. Again, true. It does use more brute force. As you can see, it's just slamming people into these things. However, you will soon find the Black Knight's unrefined shoves and heavy-handed blows are perfect match for its environment. Perfect. We've already seen all his artwork. I showed it to you once before. Perfect. They didn't even bother putting them in the... Oh, no. So I guess this... Yeah, they fixed it. So it hits this, then it reforms because of elasticity, and he flies away. Right? So there's the thing. Untrained slice. Whatever. The monster... It's just a card. This is literally like super basic. I don't even need to really go over this. It's not like there's any new mechanic on here. This is like a very super basic AI card. Dotted across the Black Knight Sanctuary are a series of elastomer statues. We already talked about this. By design or perhaps by coincidence, it's by design, the Squires are maintaining them. These statues are made from elastic material, not easily demolished by the Black Knight's rampaging. Again, they're trying to preserve the civilization. They're repairing this thing. That's why it's elastic, because they know he's going to wake up and do this, so they're trying to repair it. Saves them time if it's elastic and rebonds and refolds. Instead, when an object collides against this angle plinth, they are sent ricocheting 90 degrees. Again, knockback. So we talked about this. You can see in the Gen Con, this is There's them falling off. Reused artwork. Here's the actual dungeon tiles with the Blastomer plinths going to be right in there now. You can see them. They're printed right on the dungeon tile. It says it comes with 16 dungeon tiles. So, in addition, I don't assume that your survivors will always be bouncing around in the same ways. The Cliffside Sanctuary board is composed of 16 modular tiles, arranged in a random order and orientation each time the survivors face off against the Black Knight. Perfect. Positioning in a specific spot may minimize your knockback if one's survivor only to something flying off and blah blah blah. All right, again, so this is Surge of Strength. This is kind of just a very basic. A lot of his stuff seems pretty basic. He seems very brute force basic. Aligns with his character. That's fine. Not really anything to go into here with this AI card. It seems very normy. Even for a legendary one, this seems very easy to do. Comes into play. Black Knight's armor shatters and it's muscle around expanding with the Thundering Crack. So it just loses 2 +1 toughness tokens and gains 2 damage tokens, right? It's not a trade-off, right? So if there was no toughness tokens to lose, it still gains the damage. If so, it's not a trade-off. And then double all knockback survivors suffer. That's huge. Good thing you fight it with the ram and stuff. I hope the Iron Mountain stuff isn't so knitted together and needed to even be able to do anything that these things kind of feel weird when you throw them together. I kind of said that with the Pariah, and Nightmare Ram has things to prevent knockback and stuff, so I hope that these things aren't too insanely difficult when used when alone, where you don't have access to all this stuff. Hopefully that's not the case. Should the survivors avoid death by free fall on all sides, endure the monster's brutality, and may find themselves blah blah blah. Black Ryan's crawling. Okay, yeah. So you fight the thing multiple times, maybe 2 or 3 times, then you get to make the armor sets. So here's the Count armor. As you can see here, there's the model. You can see what it looks like with all his stuff. You can see it shows what his headgear is, but there he is in his Blastic Glory. Here's his headgear, the Count's helm. Shred, spend an attribute token, activate a melee weapon and attack. Okay, limit once per round. Okay, neat. I guess you could do that on the monster's turn. Who knows when you can do that? I guess you can do it whenever you want. You can spend an attribute token. The Court Armor focuses on aggression, loading up the survivor with the bonus attributes that they can spend for further offensive capabilities. Fine, right? So this is the Count one. Let's go back and look at which one this. So this is the Baron. It's not this one. Yeah, not this one. The Heir, not the Herald. The Hunter. So this is the Hunter. It was originally the Count. Now it says it's the Hunter. So that's that. There's the concept art for it. Looks neat. Warrior might be kind of in there too with the Warrior. So neat. Let's go back to now the Earl. This is the Warrior. Well, it's kind of like a mix. You can see the artwork here. He's got like this very cool spear. He's got like, so this was what they originally said with the Herald. Now they changed it. So it's the Earl. So there's his raiment. Let's go back to the original one. Let's see which one he was. This was the Herald. So now he's the Earl. Yeah, you can kind of see this is a little. He's got the jaw cap, the metal shoulder. Yeah, looks like this is the one that he was. So let's go back. Let's look at his thing. Earl's raiment. Again, these are all parts of actual sets themselves. So whenever you encourage, roll d6 and all stars gain extra survival. Okay, in contrast, Earl Armor serves as a support-oriented role. I don't know, none of these things have outfit or accessory, so it really looks like you want to invest in the whole set, because hybrid set they might not work as well with, because you're not getting bonus. It would have been nice if there's hybrid sets. That'd be cool. But either way, it's a pretty cool ability. So now we have this one. Let's see. This is the one with the cloak and the tunic, so which one would that be? That one looks more like this, one of these two. Either way, so there used to be 4, but now I guess it's the Heir. Either way, let's look at what it is here. This is the gloves. Again, it's part of a set. So, riposte. When you block or deflect a hit, gain an action at the start of your next act. Limit once per round. This is a betterly written novel sword proficiency. So, neat. And then finally, whatever embodies... So, exercise caution when deciding upon which of these armor sets to build, however your limit exchange... So this was already pitched. You'd have very limited amount of resources. You only be able to fight it once or twice, so you want to know what you're going for. Then talks about the Squires. So here you can see there's the Squires themselves. we'd already seen all the artwork. We'd already seen these already rendered and painted, so I don't know why they're not showing the actual ones that are rendered and painted. So the miniatures have already been rendered and painted. So, in addition to acting as a standalone expansion integrating with the Inverted Mountain campaign, the Black Knight expansion offers a short 5-year campaign that places you in the role of Squires, Knights Diligent Squires. We already knew this. It was already pitched that it would be like that. The Gen Con 1 reiterated that fact, that it would be more focused just on these 4. 5-year campaigns offer great opportunities to experience narrative snapshots of a settlement unlike your own. It's neat. Rather than building a society from the ground up, Squires campaign explores the personal triumphs and tragedies for particular survivors. It doesn't even sound like you're going to be running a settlement here. Sounds like this might just be some hunting party. You go do like a series of vignettes together, and then that will be it. And then you get some strains. This sounds exactly like the Gig Lion vignette survivors. Sounds like these 5 years campaigns might play out like vignettes, where you just go down a timeline of these 4 specific survivors hunting a very special thing, and then as you get farther in there, you unlock a strain and it affects the worlds. Great, right? So as I was saying, all these things are just polishing up existing pitches that we had. It shows that everything that we originally pitched, it will kind of stay true to that, and it's just polishing and tweaking. So that's good. It shows that they're trying to make everything work together and trying to get through that. So it's a great Herald. Not so much for the information given. The information given is cool, but we've already know so much about Black Knight, and that's not being negative, right? Again, that's just a fact, right? This is just one of the Heralds we already knew a whole bunch about, so it's fine. It's good. This was more so about look at us deciding on an exact node, deciding how this is exactly fit, showing how it's going to be compatible, showing how we're actually working on the 5-year campaign, showing how it's going to be like vignettes with strains attached to it. Very super cool. More so about polish, and then that's it. So this was really cool, really informative. I'm glad that it shows their work is progressing towards a streamlined content. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next Dark Herald.